one thing that I've listened to, one person that I've listened to, Honorable Kennedy Japan, I've listened to him all my life. My wife will tell you point blank that when I wake up in the morning, I'm looking for his videos to listen to. And then one thing he talks about is saving. He's someone that I listen to and pick a lot of. I met him, and then I told him that you see some of your fundamentals has helped me a lot. So all that money that I was making, now I was thinking of what to do. Because if the money is in your account, that is not wise. You need to multiply the money, and that can come only through investment. I don't believe in investment where the turnover is just pennies. I put my money in the bank and then invest it in some little investment, and then at the end of the day, I believe in putting it in something that will generate me some good investment. So I thought of, why don't I go into agriculture? And I was like, man, with agriculture, I need to be back home. At that time, I was willing to come, but I was not ready to come. It's a big difference. So thinking of agriculture here and there, and then I chanced on the fact that a friend that I spoke to said, why don't you think about trucking? And I was like, trucking, buy trucks, tipper trucks, and then bring them to Ghana. That's now, oh man, back in the days, I bought this bus, we call it truck, and then this driver's messed me up. So it's like, man, trucking is different. You make good money. Again, the human factor. So I listened to him, and then I decided that let me give it a try. Now, who's going to buy me the truck? The truck is in China. This man sitting here is in Alexandria, Virginia. I don't know anybody that's going to help me get a truck. I jumped online. Okay, and this is not a God fact. This is you. And then I jumped online. I started thinking about how I can start doing my research, and I found out I could get it through someone. And then I found one honest guy, and he's always been a friend to me. I've never met him, I've never spoken to him on the phone, but once I send him my money, my truck is here. An angel in disguise. So then I was able to bring these trucks to Ghana, year by year. Yeah.
Let me stop you here for a minute. If you've been watching this show, I want you to subscribe and become part of the family. We are on a journey of changing the lives of people on this channel. And we appreciate you for being here. But if you haven't become part of the family, connect with us. Hit the subscribe button.
Hello.
Let's carry on the conversation. So what happened to your health at the time?
Yes,
Yeah, you're welcome back.
Question. So driving all those hours.
I'm drawing Luffy.
At one point, I started feeling dizzy because I was not getting enough rest. And the goal was that I need to come to Ghana. Let me say, because a problem that most of the youth have here.
If you like it, kindly subscribe to my channel.
Being very honest, the Ghanaian man, when he travels outside, works like a Hebrew slave, just like I did. We work so hard, and we try to stay out of trouble. The Ghanaian man or woman, when he travels, so what is making them work so hard is the benefits. That is their wages or their salaries, the monies they are making. So I was making good money. I didn't see the reason why I had to stay home. For who? For what? Nothing. My friends were also working hard. And so I was working so hard. I mean, eventually it would affect your health one way or the other. I was not thinking about that, which was unfortunate. Right now, I would think about it. And one time I woke up and my left hands and my left leg was numb. It was in the afternoon. And I hit it on the ground. I hit it. I felt like it became very hard. Luckily enough, it didn't run to my mouth. You should have brought a little twitch, but yeah, that's how it affected. And from sitting, so when I recovered from that, from after about a year and a half later, getting to 2 years, I started having bleeding and all of that because I've been sitting for too many hours. And so the doctors were advised, but I still did not listen, which was very bad, but I should have listened. But those are all learning curves. I was lucky to get healed from it. And maybe someone may not be able to. But again, I was writing my destiny code. So I was working all those hours.
What did the doctors think it was?
Well, a lot of them, which they were not that severe. All of these things were coming up because of stress. I've always said one thing. I believe that a lot of destinies are connected to mine as much as everyone. I cannot fail my generation. I cannot fail people. So let me sacrifice myself not to sacrifice myself, to kill myself or die, but to sacrifice and live, then other people will see me as a living epistle of exactly what I want to be.
You know, for someone who was able to raise $24,000 to travel abroad, you're
In
quite
Ghana.
in Ghana. You're quite daring, eh?
I mean, yes. I mean, back then I was doing my national service, and my boss back then liked me so much. They call it so many things, but I worked so hard for it because back then I remember that when you register, there's an amount of cars that we can do in a day. Maybe let's say, I don't remember, but let's say we have to register about 50 or 60 cars, and by 3 o'clock we are closed. And now everything is computerized. Back then we're writing it in books. I could stay over and work. And then sometimes my boss was also a hard worker, Mr. Corte, God bless him wherever he is. And he could pile up all those files so long and like, man, are we come to register all of this? But you see, there's one thing that I always tell people. Value is what is rewarded. So when you show people your value, they'll reward you. I work and I will not go home until the last car is registered. So if the national service personnel has to close at 4 p.m., I was closing late. And then I'll make sure that I sit and finish it. And they will reward you. And then as much as I saved, I was also having other things that I was doing on the side, doing passport for people, birth certificate, all of that, helping people. And I was saving all of that money. And I
Because you have dreams of traveling abroad.
Yes, and I did not spend. I am not a spendthrift. I believe in the power of savings. And I had some good amount of money, XY amount of money. That's what helped me to travel.
So then the time comes when you decided to come back to Ghana.
Yes.
Talk to me through that decision making.
I mean, like I said, right there when I knew that real estate is a thing that I wanted to go into, I had to create a means or a source of income. You want real estate is quite expensive, and it takes a lot of money so as capital. So you need a continuous flow. You need a continuous cash flow, so a continuous source of income. So now bringing the trucks was a good thing. So now they are bringing me my daily sales, and then they are bringing me enough money to pump into real estate, which of course cannot do it all. You also have to outsource. And so at that time when I felt like, okay, X amount of trucks are in Ghana, I'm looking at my bank account, and it's smiling at me, and I'm smiling at it. And I've saved something little to.
Thank you for joining my channel.
I did not spend them. So when
I hope you
in
subscribe.
America, I really didn't have much, but I had much in cities here. So I felt like this is the time to come, and it was the time to come. But when I came, I thought it was the time to come. But when I came, it wasn't the time to come.
Okay.
So when I came, I had to go back again.
Why?
I bought a land in East Legon Hills. And then when I bought the land in East Legon Hills, I remember that I was home one day. I had come home, and my wife came to me, and she's like, I met a man who said he was looking for. And I mean, the man was looking for my wife, and she didn't know why. So she went and spoke to the man, and the man was like, there's a land here that is being sold. So if you know anyone that can buy it, let's sell it to the person. So she came home, and she's like, I mean, I want to talk to you about something. I said, what is it? She said, I remember I was lying in bed and running from pillar to post, trying to see what I can do by starting real estate, because this land is in East Legon Hills, the one that I bought. And the one that I'm working on right now, I'm doing my project on right now, is in town more than what I already got. So it's a good opportunity. Real estate is all about location. So when she told me, I was like, okay, so let me go talk to this man. I said, the land is expensive. You don't even have a dime. Because you bought this land, the trucks are bringing money, but then you bought this land, you're already so. I said, you know what, for this land, it's a good location. I need it. Let me go and talk to the man. And I went and spoke to the man. And then the man was good to me. And he was like, yes, I'm selling this land for this X amount of money. At that time when I was selling, I didn't have a person. So when he said it, I was like, I'll buy it. So he's like, okay.
Hello guys, if you're joining, kindly subscribe to my channel.
Brought it down a little bit.
It helps a lot.
And when he found out,
Thank
we were
you.
very cool people. And then we're young people me and my wife, so trying to start something good. So she's like, he was like, okay, I'll sell it to you, but Now that we are done talking, when are you gonna pay? I said, I don't have a penny. It's like, so how are you gonna pay for the land? And I was like, oh, give me some time. Can you give me like 6 months so I pay for the land? And he's like, oh no, I need cash. I mean, I've also moved from the UK here and I need cash. I was like, I promise you, if you give me 6 months, I'll make that money. I didn't know how I was gonna make that money. Because remember, Uber is not what it used to be anymore. It's dead. I remember one time I picked a guy who gave me $1,000 tip.
Hello.
I don't know if anybody's gonna get that right now. My friends who used to do it as part-time jobs will tell you now it doesn't fetch that amount of money. So because maybe there's a lot of drivers now, I don't know why. So Uber was not even an option to go do it. So I told my wife that I've spoken to the man and he's agreed that I spread it for 5 months, 6 months, and did not fail him. So when I came home, my wife was like, so what are you going to do? I said, okay, let's give me. So I like doing things in the night. I woke up in the night and it was evening in America and all of that. So I started sending messages to my friends. Do you know you did a good job? Do you know a good job? Let me know so I can get. But I've already told about the price of the land. We have done our negotiation and everything is clear. But now how to bring the money to buy the land. So I had lucky enough, I left those messages, I went to bed, I woke up and then a friend had texted me that I know a very good job. And this good job was to work in a psychiatric hospital where you can get, even I was beaten up several times. And I was like, okay, I think the land that I bought, like I've told you, I always want more. And then I went and worked for that amount. And then within 4 or 5 months, I paid the man because I worked. So much.
So you see, this is what a lot of these young people are saying, isn't it? That even though we tell them that they shouldn't stay abroad,
Yes.
and that when they have the skills, they should come back and, you know.
Right.
For me, my message is very simple.
Travel.
Do whatever you can.
Right.
But when you get the skills and the knowledge, come back and help us.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yes.
It's as simple as that. But I think it's what the young people are saying, that living abroad is a raw leverage. You had the documents to be able to go back.
Yes.
And it allowed you to be able to buy the land. If you didn't have that, how would you have coughed that money?
That I cannot tell because that was my means of making that money. But I believe that coming to Ghana has opened me up to so many things that I've realized that, let me tell you, okay? The best place to be a millionaire is Ghana.
Okay.
It depends on what you're looking at. You have to open up your mind to receive. A lot of these young people believe that the easiest way to make money, like I said, okay, let me use myself as an example. Number one, because someone has prophesied into my life or told me what I'm going to do, I go back to bed. No. If I could raise $24,000 whilst I was in Ghana, I could raise any amount of money. It depends on what you want to do. You want to be in suit and tie? Easy. I came back to Ghana, like I said, even before that, before all of this dream.
Mañana lo haré.
And I failed. Okay. And I came and started a travel and tour, and I failed. Fear the man that
Hello guys, if you are joining, kindly subscribe to my channel.
I'm proud I failed. So you should not fear failing. Failure is part of success. It's also on the way you're going to meet it. So my point is that I would have found a way to raise it. And there are so many ways you can raise it. Yes. There are so many ways you can raise it. It's not always about being in suit and tie. It's not always about sitting under air conditioning. There's so many people making money in the dirt. And you can make money in Ghana easily. I'm making money in Ghana more than I made. I forget about these trucks that I brought, but if my truck, the amount of money
what's up
into these things, my trucks are providing less than 50% of that.
Right.
So how are you going to be able to do it? You see, that's the question. Don't rely on the fact that maybe you've heard a man of God tell you this or someone told you want to do. Do your research. Dig deep into what you want to do. And I believe you can always do it. The mind is made.
Yeah.
We're not using a huge amount or percentage of our minds.
Not even 5%.
Yes, we are not.
Not even 5%.
And you see, what you open up to.
Hello, guys.
So there's a lot.
If you like my art, kindly subscribe.
In the theoretical way to go to school, graduate, and then sit online and then start looking for jobs.
You definitely listen to Honorable Canadian.
I do.
Definitely.
Yes.
A lot of the things
You see, I'll tell you, I would not lie about the fact that besides what I had heard from the spiritual side, Wadamaya played a very huge role in making me come to Ghana, and everywhere I sit, I tell the whole world that even though I was ready to come, I was willing to come to Ghana. Was I ready? But I listened to Wadamaya like I was drinking my tea every morning, and I listened to Honorable Kennedy Japan like I was reading my bedtime stories. So Wadamaya helped in bringing me to Ghana. But then when I'm here, principles that I'm applying by is Honorable Kennedy Japan's principles. That's it. So you have to understand these things. There are principles that apply to you being successful. Are you ready to incorporate these things? If not, then it's not gonna work for you. And like I said,
Hello,
there are
guys.
poor people in Ghana, there are poor people in America. So you can choose to travel to America and still fail. Regardless, I have friends that are failing, and they are failing forward because I've seen a lot of people drive 100 miles in the wrong direction.
Wow. Wow. You came to Ghana first.
¿Qué dices?
Started a business, failed, went back.
Si les gusta mi arte, pueden suscribir a mi canal.
Went back, yes. Then you came back again.
Yes.
Since you came back again.
Sígueme, por favor.
Now I go for vacation.
No, I mean, go back because, you needed a bit more cash to, do something else. You have it. Great. So, now, staying in Ghana and being part of the community here, how do you see it as, for someone who has come from the diaspora?
I mean, let me be very honest. Life is not fair, and it's not going to treat you fair. Wherever you find yourself, like I said earlier on, there are rich people in America and there are rich people here.
Yep.
There are poor people in America and there are poor people here. Like I said, and I always say, driving Uber made me meet a lot of homeless people. I drove in Washington, D.C., the DMV area, because that's where I live, D.C., Maryland, Virginia, and you see a lot of homeless people. Not even as much as you see even in Ghana. So when I got here, my mind was ready that you can fail here as much as you can fail in America. Like I've always said, I wanted to come back. So once I landed, I knew that it was time to re-strategize. Put things pen on paper and just try to map up what you want to do. That's the first stage of success is planning. And then once I was able to sit down and start planning, now once I'm done planning, I have to start looking for the means to make the plan work. That's how it is. So it's like a switch or a socket. You have
Hello.
You have the plug, you have to put it
Hello,
in.
Nine.
But how to do it? Because it could be two things. One is here waiting for you to come and connect the power. But your ability to understand that when I plug this in, it's going to put the power. It is dependent on you.
Lord, recently have you heard that there's a lot of African American diasporas going back from Ghana?
You mean coming back to Ghana?
No, they're going back.
No,
They're going
I've
back
heard
to
about
the US. Yeah. I've seen a lot of things online where people are going back.
Okay.
And then the question is, so what happens is that I am seeing a lot of the African Americans going back, but I'm seeing a lot of the Ghanaian diaspora who come here. They become very successful.
Yes.
Why do you think there's such a disparity between the two?
Let me say that even if I decided to stay in America, I would have still been successful. It's your mindset.
Hello, Samuel. Hello, Samuel.
Let me give you an example.
If you are joining me,
God will not even want to relate with someone who cannot use his mind. That's why he says, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. The first stage is your mind.
Thank you.
It's important. But I've seen a man that has been given a desert that has made it into a heaven. Can you talk about Dubai? Yes. And I've seen where there's so much money, but people are still failing. So Sometimes location plays, but you see, the mind is where everything starts from. So a lot of people might be going back. That is their personal decision. I do not want to. I don't really want to say something like, no, maybe they are making the wrong choices. I also decided to come to Ghana. Would I come back again? Yes. Would I want to come again? Yes. Would I want to go back to America? Of course, I'm an American. So would I want to go back to America and what? No. But would I want to be here? I want to be here, build an empire, build a name. Is Kennedy Japan making it? Yes. Is Dangote making it? Yes. My people, is McDan making it? Yes. These are people that are making it.
Why didn't you add my name to it?
It's and see what you are doing. There's a lot of podcasts going around, but right now you are like number one podcast. Your podcast is like number one in Ghana. It's a lot of work. When I came to your studio right now, we're talking like brothers, and I was like, wow, because I'm surprised. And there's so much money you put into it. So yes, you are part of the. You also moved to Ghana. So yes, and we are striving. It's not going to be a smooth road. No.
Wow. I'm just touched by, out of this conversation, what's really touched me is the fact that a young man was able to raise 24,000. Now today, when I hear that somebody's traveling out of the country with even 10,000, I'm like, oh, that's a lot of money. It keeps ringing in my head.
Right.
But I think you did fantastic.
Thank
I think you did amazing. Now, real estate.
Right.
I know it was prophetic, it was, but you could have decided to do it in the US. Did the prophecy say that come and do it in Ghana?
No, it did not.
Okay, so why didn't you do it in the US?
Everything that I've dreamt of is to start something in Ghana.
Right.
This is me. I could have chosen to do it in the US in a different way, but I chose to do it in Ghana because, let me tell you, I have 42 workers right now. Out of the 42 workers, I've employed first class students. I've employed second class upper students. So I believe that this is where we lack a lot of opportunities. So if people like me can open up something, employ people, you see, that's how I'm also trying to give back to the community. All these 44 people every month depends on me. How they'll feed, how some of them, let's say each one of them has 2 kids. That is 44 by 2. We are talking about 88. You are talking numbers. Okay, maybe let's say 3. You're married, and most of them, about 35 of them are married.
Okay.
And then they have kids, 1 or 2, their wife. So like 100 people indirectly are depending on me. And this is a way that I'm also helping my country, And then if I get a chance to help America, I would. At least I served, I worked hard and all of that. But this is where we lack a lot of opportunities. And I believe that when you go out there and then you get all this knowledge and you're able to raise some capital, when you come home, you're gonna make it happen if you put the right things in place. And a lot of people's destinies, like I say, are always connected to yours. Open up yours will open. You'll be like a stream that many can drink from, but you will not run dry.
I get asked by a lot of young, how do I get into real estate? And that question is always, for you, we understand. You traveled abroad, you had some money, from the work you did. When you came in, the opportunity you saw, you didn't have the money, so you had to go back, and you came back again. So your capital really came from your work abroad, right?
Yes.
For somebody that doesn't have that capital, and they still want to go and do exactly what you're doing, how do they do it?
I can give you one simple blueprint. Okay, start like a realtor. Start raising like a realtor. I know people that started just as realtors, and then once you start, you see, when it comes to starting everything, it's easy. Maintaining it is hard.
Okay.
So you want to get into real estate. I have gotten into real estate. It's not an easy thing because in Ghana we don't have the support system where maybe let's say in America I could have gone for a loan with 3% interest. Here your loan is about 30% and stuff like that. It's gonna drown your business. Start small. I didn't start small. I started big. My current project is about $1 million, and I started big. It's coming from me. It's draining. Even sometimes I wake up and I don't have a dime on me. If you're into construction, you understand. Because building is such that I'm telling them the truth about real estate. building on real estate is such that sometimes when you're a new company like mine, people do not have that, trust and all of that. So you have to build to a certain point. Because a lot of people have been duped and a lot of things have gone wrong when it comes to the real estate sector in Ghana. So you coming in, you have to build a name that people can trust. So at that point, it's hard to even sell and all of that. So if you want to get into real estate in Ghana, my strategy or my way came from divinity to humanity through hard work and all of that. Yours might be in Ghana. You want to start real estate, go into being a realtor. Start. That is the way you can even start learning. Let me tell you, I'll give you a secret. When I wanted to get into real estate, besides the fact that I was working hard, knowledge was what was going to make me last or get into it and build a foundation. You can have money, but when you go into a business, you can lose all the money. The know-how about a business is the first thing that you need, even before capital. And when you become a realtor, it is possible that you can learn a lot and then you can get into building. So don't jump, because even though I was making that amount of money, let me be very honest, I watched about 600, about 500 videos all across, like building, construction, people selling. I was watching people like COD. Every day, when I met him, I told him, listen, I've been watching you. I was watching and I was learning. If not, I'll lose all my money. So if you want to start in Ghana, go into being a realtor. You can find someone to start learning. Our problem is that when you want to hide anything from a black man, put it in a book. And so we do not want to sit and learn. But the first step is to learn, get that knowledge. There's so much that you can learn from. And if you want to be mentored, find someone that can mentor you. And then you can grow from there. Because if now you want me to teach you how to get into real estate, that's the first strategy I'll tell you. Find a mentor, learn from them. I have mentors. My mentor right now, like I said, outside of Kenya, Japan, that I listen to, it's one man in Nigeria called Dr. Tony, and I had to travel to him to get knowledge. I go to Nigeria to learn a lot and bring it back. If not, I will fail. So the first step is to go to be a realtor, go into being a realtor, and then find a mentor in that space and learn from them, and then you'll grow.
You really do think mentorship is important, huh?
You said, do I really
think mentorship is important?
It is one of the most powerful tools of becoming. So there's a stage in a man's life where you become, but before you become, there is becoming. And so before you could become, there's a becoming, like I said. And so mentorship is something that will make you get to the become.
I see.
Yes, so you need it. I'm learning every day. I have mentors, like I said. I travel to Nigeria. I sit down and listen to Honorable Kene Japan. You see, let me tell you, one of the elements that I learned from him was that made me even go back the second time was the fact that I listened to one of his interviews and he was like, real estate is good, but it's not about location. And I bought a land. East Legon Hills. And now I said, location. This is closer to East Legon, so I'll go back. So that's how, so I was learning. I was, like I told you, I was watching videos. While I have sitting down and waiting for a trip to come in my Uber. That's my free time. And then I start playing the videos and I'll be watching people like Wademaya going to interview people doing real estate, and they're doing it. They're doing it. I can also do it. The power to believe I can do it. And so yes, start by being. In Ghana they call it agent. Now they've moved it. You know, we used to call it watchman. Now it's security man. We call it agent. No, it's a realtor. So start, find a realtor, learn. That's how you get the wisdom or the knowledge or the know-how to do it. Just jump the gun. No, it's a process. A to B, B to C. There you go.
Let me stop you here for a minute. If you've been watching this show, I want you to subscribe.
Hello guys, if you're watching, kindly subscribe to my channel.
Your money.
You know, I remember I've gone through a stage in life when, even when the screen of my mobile phone is cracked, I get worried.
Yes.
I've gone through that phase in life where your slipper gets torn, worried. And then you go to a stage in your life where when that mobile phone cracks, the insurance can either take care of it very quickly or you can buy another one. Because that phone, maybe you can afford it 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Absolutely.
I first learned that concept from a man called Dr. Abiyama Monsa, where he says that, I was just telling you about this microphone.
Right.
That there was a time this was giving me an issue. I just went downstairs and brought another one out. That sometimes what happens is that we tend to buy things that can't afford twice or
Right.
even 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw that with my Range Rover.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's the second car I got in Ghana. And I realized I keep maintaining that car
Mhm.
because it's a luxury car. And it's
Right.
one of those cars that if you can't maintain it, you know, at the same time when I got it, I knew people who had the same car.
Right.
A year after they couldn't. And I've had mine for like 5 years.
Right.
So sometimes this really happens where people buy things they can't maintain
Right.
or things they can't afford twice.
Right.
And that's where I learned that concept from.
You see, I was telling a young man the last time who came to my office that he wanted me to mentor him, and I said, okay, I would. So after listening to him, I'll give you the chance to tell me who you are. I told him one thing: do not fast forward life. You see, life is like doors. At every stage, when truly you are meant to enter, it will open for you. So there is a door to each stage. If you force a door open and you are not ready to go in, built mentally and built maybe physically or whatever, you are not ready. You can force a door open, but remember the prison also has doors. So there are people that have opened doors forcibly and now they are imprisoned. But if you build yourself and you build your value to a certain point, the doors naturally open and it stages. So once the door, you know you're, if I right now want to afford a Range Rover, it's easy. I can. But would I? No. So you have to understand the concept of the fact that life is about doors. Do not force a door that you are not ready to enter. Don't force it open. It can open for you, but when you open, remember the prison has doors. You can become a slave of your own action. So someone says, oh, I want to buy a business class ticket, first class ticket. Check if you really have the money. Do not buy it and what we call the outside gentility home cry. You come home and you start crying. No. So make sure you build yourself, build your value, and these doors will open for you. Right now, my value is at a certain stage. Certain doors will open. But it's not gotten to a point where certain major doors will open. I have to still keep building my value. And those doors will naturally open. You see, there's a quote that before we started, I said that is very important to me that I keep in the Bible. And it says that men will come to your light, but kings will come to the brightness of your rising. So kings don't just come because you have emitted light. They come to the brightness of that light. And so if you force yourself to open a door where you are supposed to meet a king and you are not shining to that point, you will not even know how to have a conversation with that person. Yes. Wow. So a lot of people meet their destiny helpers, but they don't even know how to relate with them because they've not built themselves to that point. That's how it is.
Fantastic. Remember, on the 29th of August, if you haven't reserved your seat, all the details are in the description. We are meeting at the British Council in Accra. My Kumasi and Takrady people are in Suyani, and Tamale people are asking for an event as well. There's only one of me, and you know, the team is so small at the moment. But let's finish the Accra one and then we'll think of the rest. My next question is motivation or discipline?
Discipline.
Okay. If you have said motivation only, I would say cha 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 cha. But yes,
I would choose discipline every day. Like I told you, a power to save. It comes from discipline. I was driving Uber. There's no supervisor. You work your own hours. You are your own boss. You're going to make how much you want to make by yourself. So what are you doing when no one is watching? So I would say that motivation stems from discipline.
right.
And so what are you doing when there's no one watching? Are you working hard? A lot of these people that sometimes you go into these government agencies, they just sit aloof because there's no boss. And some people too, when there's no boss, that's the free day. No, what are you doing when no one is watching? So discipline will take you far. Motivation can take you this far, but discipline will take you thus far.
Awesome. What's the best advice you've received?
Ever since I was born, or when it comes to business?
The best advice your entire life?
Well, the best advice, I would say two. The first one, I would say, be honest in all your dealings. That is what I'm facing with when it comes to starting business here. I had to, at one point, I had people that I had to fire because they have no honesty. So one thing that will take you very far is being honest. And then the second most powerful advice which I abide by is build a lot of relationships. Relationships are powerful means of leverage more than money. When you are putting in a lot of relationships, they open doors. People are currencies. Relationships are currencies. And they are more valuable than money because they will make you so much money and open so much doors for you. I concur.
It's beautifully said.
Thank you.
Said. Somebody asked me the question. So after all the business and how busy you are, how do you still get time to do this podcast? And actually, why do you even do it? And I said, well, there are so many reasons why I do it. But one of the reasons why I am also doing it is social credit.
Right. And it's
Part of relationship.
yes, a very important.
We've spent about 2 hours today